a lot of the men and some of the men, some of the women live in these kind of Opus Dei lodges, these gender segregated Opus Dei lodges, and they're out in the world doing their important work. And what they need is someone to cook and clean for them and do whatever. And I think quite early on, the founder of Opus Dei realized that it wasn't kind of realistic to get outside help because they were going to start asking questions about the way these houses
Why is
were
Newt
run.
Gingrich whipping himself?
And so he decided that actually they needed to create this new underclass of membership specifically for women or specifically for young girls who would also become members, would commit themselves to Opus Dei, would take these kind of pledges of celibacy and obedience like the elite members. But they were specifically, instead of being recruited from the elite, they were specifically recruited from underprivileged communities. And so this most recent case in Argentina, I mean, this still goes on today, right? I mean, this most recent case in Argentina stems from all of these women who, back when they were girls, they were like 12, 13 years old. They were recruited. They were living, out in the countryside in Paraguay, Bolivia, Argentina. Opus Dei members would visit the village and they would spot the targets, and these Opus Dei members would go to the families and say, "Hey, I see you've got a young girl here. Well, around here there are not too many great opportunities, but hey, we run this great school, this great hospitality school back in the big city. Why don't you send her back with us? We'll give her this great education. She can work towards all these qualifications and a better life. And, she can have the pick of hospitality careers when she's older." And so the parents are like, wow, this Catholic organization's coming knocking on our door, offering this great opportunity for our kids. The girls are like, this sounds cool. And, only when these girls are like hundreds of miles away from their families do they kind of realize what they've got themselves into. And slowly they are kind of brainwashed, coerced into joining Opus Dei. And then they, once they join, they basically become slaves. They, many of them working for 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Many of these women were not allowed to go out onto the street on their own, unaccompanied. They're not paid. And so, this case has come from that.